Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Mikey. Welcome to Out of the Ordinary. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about 3 unsolved mysteries that pretty much seemed interesting to me. So let's get to the comments. Calvin, what's up, dude? Welcome to the show. Hey, Chris. Raven Rose, welcome. All right, so the first case I'm going to talk about, it's a pretty short one, but sent it to the AA. The AA meeting. So the first case I'm going to be talking about right now is David Buller. Yes, David Buller. On Tuesday afternoon in 2001, students settled in for their University of Toronto art class taught by beloved professor David Buller. When the always punctual professor is a no-show for his own lecture, a few concerned students stop by his office. The door is shut tight, and he doesn't answer when they knock. Little do they know, David lies dead from 6 stab wounds on the other side of the door. Despite heavy foot traffic in the area and even a baby shower happening right below David's office, no one can provide any information on the brutal murder. The only clue that seems to be is a cryptic sketch that is found on David's computer. Today, David's niece continues to hope his killer will be brought to justice. Who would want David Buller dead? And how could this murder happen in the heart of a busy college campus? Hey, Aka! What's going on? So, next one is the Wytheville UFO sightings. Wytheville, Virginia is a small town nestled in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Country music station WYVE calls itself the voice of Wytheville. On most days, there is usually quite an uneventful. My bad. But that was not the case on the morning of October 7th of 1987. Radio reporter Dan Gordon checked in as usual with the county sheriff and heard an unbelievable tale. According to Danny, the 3 Wytheville County Sheriff's deputies all claimed to have seen a UFO. And for the record, my information is coming directly from Unsolved Mysteries. So props to them. And yeah, let's get on with it. Thomas Borquette, what's going on? Hello, welcome. So, however, Danny's haha. Wait, did I? Oh, okay. However, Danny's haha piece sparked some unbelievable listeners' responses. Reports of UFO sightings poured into WYVE. With the switchboard jammed, Danny set up a special call-in program for the following week. Kind of sounds like Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. You know that one where that Area 51 caller called in that one time? Yeah, sounds like that. So, Danny thought the UFOs were most likely experimental aircrafts being tested out of Virginia's Langley Air Force Base. But he was repeatedly told by the military that there was no testing going on. As more and more residents came forward to their stories of UFOs, the military finally came up with one explanation. They said the cause for the UFO sightings was not experimental aircraft, but rather planes refueling. But according to Danny Gordon, the explanations was impossible. Let's get to the comments here real quick. Star Byard, hello. Henry Cuevas, hello. So they thought it was experimental aircrafts, and some people thought it was aircraft refueling. On October 21st, just 2 weeks after the first sighting, Danny and his friends, Roger Hall, drove to the area where most of the sightings had occurred. According to Danny, they bought along a 35 millimeter still camera as well as a video camera. The next night, Gordon and Hall went out again. This time, they did take photographs. With the film still undeveloped, Danny called a press conference for the following day, October 23rd, 1987. After the press conference, Danny discovered that his house had been broken into. Although nothing was stolen, Danny was convinced that someone was looking for his photographs. When developed, the pictures revealed only vague streaks of light in the sky. But 6 weeks later, Danny had another opportunity to photograph the UFOs. He was out shopping with his wife and daughter when they encountered some unexpected visitors. The people of the Wytheville knew that something extraordinary was happening in their small town. Within the 3-month period, there had been more than 1,500 sightings. One of the first occurred near Interstate 81, a mile from downtown Wytheville. Eyewitnesses said that the craft resembled a brightly lit spinning carousel. Immediately, other sightings were reported. One local resident, Patricia Aker, experienced a total of 10 UFO sightings. So, yeah, 10 UFO sightings. And Calvin says, give a like and share to this. Yes, please like and share this feed. And Henry Cuevas puts aliens. I don't want to say it's aliens, but aliens. See, did the aliens did any experience on people or? Whew, I don't know, man. I've never really encountered aliens or a UFO, but hey, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Then there was Mary Jane Williamson's sighting, which happened directly above her house in the center of Wytheville. 3 months after the initial wave of sightings, Danny was packing for a broadcasters conference in Virginia Beach. It was there that he was to speak about his UFO coverage. Less than 1 month after the disturbing phone call, Danny had 2 surprise visitors at his home. Ooh, think I know who that is. Two visitors at his home. The two suited men said they were the newspaper reporters and stayed for approximately 45 minutes. According to Danny, one of the men interviewed him while the other roamed through the house snapping photographs. Yeah, those weren't news reporters, I'll tell you that much. Those were the men in black. A few weeks later, Danny sat down to organize and catalog his UFO photographs. 2 months later, the stress of the late night phone calls, the home break-in, the strange visitors, and now the missing negatives finally took its toll on Danny, and he had a heart attack. Doctors later determined that the attack was brought on by severe exhaustion. Danny was warned that continued involvement with the UFO controversy could kill him. So, I see. Okay. Akash says that she's having technical difficulties, and Calvin says, "Hey, let's travel a gazillion miles and shove a camera up something's asshole." Oh my god, Calvin, you cracked me up, dude. So, yeah, they thought it was a severe exhaustion, but Danny was warned that continued involvement with the UFO controversy could kill him. Which, I don't know. Let's see. Danny Gordon says that today, Wytheville has moved on from the days of the UFO and is now enjoying its booming arts and business communities. But if history has any indicator, sometime soon, in another small town, someone else will look up and his or her life will never be the same. Henry Cueva says, aliens do anal probes. Beware and please be careful. I ain't afraid of the men in black. I'll tell you that much. I ain't afraid of them. And I ain't afraid of aliens either. Anyhow, on to the next story. So, if you ever heard of the Tsunami Spirits, this is a good story. Teruo Kono struggled to stay afloat for 2 hours. On March 11th, 2011, a powerful 9.0 magnitude earthquake sends a 120-foot high tsunami crashing into the coast of northeast Japan. It is the most powerful earthquake and the most deadly tsunami ever recorded in the country. Once the sea retreats, nearly 20,000 people have been crushed, burned to death, or drowned. And it is Japan's greatest single loss of life since the atomic bombing of Nagasaki in 1945. The city of Ishinomaki is one of the hardest hit areas of the tsunami. 6,000 lives lost in the city alone. Teruo Kono is working in his office when the tsunami wave comes crashing through his building, throwing him to the freezing waters. He struggles to stay afloat for more than 2 hours, suffering severe hypothermia before miraculously being rescued by a friend. Taxi drivers had passengers vanish from the back seat. In the weeks and months following the tsunami, rumors of the ghost of the dead start to circulate and people speak of unusual events. Mysterious knocks on the door from soaking wet figures who don't speak, spirits wandering through the streets unsure if they are dead or alive, curious eyes peering out from puddles in the road. Journalist Shuji Okuno recounts haunting stories of taxi drivers who believed they were picking up human passengers only to have them vanish from the back seat mid-ride. Kiyoshi Kanbishi, a professor at the local university, has collected accounts from 71 survivors, many with compelling ghost stories and hauntings of their own. Kansho Aziawa sees the spirits of group of deceased boys. Buddhist priest and spiritual medium Kansho Azawa survives the earthquake but barely escapes the tsunami. Weeks later, she sees the spirits of a group of deceased boys aimlessly trying to find their way home. Today, she works with the survivors to help them cope with the tragedy and connect them with their departed Reverend Tayo Kaneda feels a calling to help the victims. Many suffered imaginable loss, such as Kazuo Sasaki, who loses his wife and 2 daughters in the tsunami. He discovers his older daughter hanging from a tree, his infant daughter found days later in a pile of rubble, and takes weeks before he is able to give them a proper burial. Just outside the tsunami zone, Buddhist monk Reverend Tayo Kaneda, who lives 30 miles from the coast, performs funeral services for over 200 people. Within 1 month, he says he feels a calling to help the victims. He performs spiritual cleansings during this time, but none are more memorable than Amy, a 25-year-old nurse from Sendai, whose body was assailed by various spirits. Over several weeks, Reverend Kaneda expels more than 24 spirits from her body. Jeez, that's crazy, man. So, sorry to cut this so short. That's all I had for today because I was in a bit of a hurry, but I will come back with more next Tuesday. And yes, this is Mikey signing off from Out of the Ordinary. Stay out of the ordinary, people.
I don't know, set the world higher.